An anti-vaxxer?
So, yeah. Just so you know.
Way to bring it down.
Eye against method for cutting it down, well as you can see the second when Happiness Behar traded words with the Oscar-winning entertainer Matthew McConaughey, leaving him apparently perplexed. This ignited hypothesis among individuals that something strange was going on between them. Never a decent is there, it's dependably a great time. It so happens I got a pedicure this occurrence, noticed back to a circumstance during the 2000s. When Matthew had needed Delight's foot this time, she suddenly positioned her foot before him for a back rub. Besides, there was one more 10-second that unfurled during this collaboration, me and governmental issues. Is to give you an immediate assertion, not too far off, is be playing a game that I'm not keen on playing. To give you an immediate assertion, not too far off this contention, started various theories, essentially revolving around charges of Euphoria's pessimistic way of behaving and discordiousness on the set. So we should dig into what unfolded among them. The circumstance unfurled when the Oscar-winning star evidently showed up on the long-running syndicated program to advance his new book on the grounds that during his visit Mickey chose to give Behar a foot rub anyway. This exceptional second happened after the 80-year-old's have helped watchers to remember whenever the entertainer first rubbed Behar's foot back on the Walk 10th, 2006 episode of the series. Just about 20 years prior, McConaughey had scarred Behar's feet while they were laying on have Elizabeth Hasselbeck's lap. Simply start, applause, scouring purportedly MCC then. At that point, brought Behar's feet into his hands right at the hotly debated issues table. Bear depicted the 2006 foot rub as a feature of her life, while McConaughey rubbed her toes 2006. You brought our own personal happiness, Behar. A foot rub, a feature in my life. The Oscar victor quickly went to work sharing an individual story about his dad's set of experiences with rubbing his dates as he started scouring her foot. Individuals recommended that it might not have been a feature for Matthew, as he showed up apparently awkward all through the whole foot rub. Father used to do this exceptionally her. When Matthew watched the class, he said, "Now you know where I got this from. This is my father's stunt." Bear referenced that she had gotten a pedicure explicitly for his appearance. The Hollywood star added, "Now, assuming you recall what that was, roused from my father would do this. I have 2 more established siblings. Each time we had a date come over, we saw they'd come over before, and before we're going out at 8 o'clock, and they'd appear at 7 o'clock, who's perched on the love seat, getting a foot rub your date. My father would continuously give me a foot rub." Bear was more than happy with his presentation, and flippantly proposed that reflexology could be his next profession. Yet certain individuals proposed something different. One of them composed that foot scouring was unusual and serene lewd behavior by satisfaction. Since she's a female doesn't mean she can pull off that sense. Supposing that it was a contrary strategy for getting around the male would cause problems. Likewise, Matthew was hitched, so how could Bliss attempt to make a wedded man rub her feet? His significant other probably won't be cool with that. At any rate, it was Whoopi Goldberg who attempted to seg into the following theme by saying, "I'm about to allow that to go by anyway." It wasn't all cheerful recollections and loosening up foot rubs. During Mac's appearance later in the episode, Behar and McKay shared a strange second after the co-have asserted that the entertainer was hostile to firearm. Let go through you think get chosen in Texas. Being hostile to firearm. Do I figure I could get chosen in Texas? Be an enemy of weapon. The remark came during whether he figured he could be chosen for political office in Texas. McConaughey has spoken about mindful firearm possession before he answered by let Behar know that she was participating in a game he was not keen on playing. Matthew further expressed to the extent that office I will constantly quantify what classification I can be most valuable. He further asked Delight that she truly figures he might have been chosen in Texas for against firearm. This seemed to hit a nerve from McConaughey, who contemplated the inquiry briefly prior to pointing his finger at Behar. He referenced that with regards to legislative issues, He abstains from offering direct expressions. And messing around, he's not keen on playing assuming me in legislative issues. Is to give you an immediate assertion not too far off is be playing a game that I'm not inspired by play Behar, who showed up apparently bothered, encouraged me that he had the choice to stay quiet in the event that he picked was not to talk with regards to this issue. The show then went to a business break. And upon its return, the co have momentarily returned to the subject of McConaughey. Position on an immediate right, yet the thing will stumble upon getting back from a business break for a section that disclosed a wax figure looking like McConaughey have Bright Hostin propose the theme again. I needed to say that I've done a ton of exploration as far as your promotion, and I don't realize that you're hostile to weapon. I think your proud obligation and legislation hostin'. Said the specialist then continued to uncover the wax figure. The association between this and Matthew McConaughey is that he has been a promoter for firearm change. McConaughey, who was brought up in Uvalde, Texas, saw an of every 2022 in which 19 kids and 2 educators lost their lives following this misfortune. He visited the White House to speak to the 2 liberals and conservatives for structure. We need secure and safe schools. And we need weapon regulations that won't make it so natural for the miscreants to get these damn weapons. During this visit, McConaughey communicated compelling feelings and contended that the subsequent revision was being taken advantage of by disturbed people, expressing that dependable firearm proprietors were becoming baffled with this circumstance. MCC position on weapon change recommends that he may not help very severe control measures pushed by a wide margin left. People like Behar. These are the very green banter on her feet that ended up being the main obvious proof that could distinguish her after the shooting. Put that thusly, it's reasonable that he protested being marked as against. If Mixie somehow managed to enter legislative issues later on, his situations on different issues, including G control, would be a subject of revenue and discussion. Now, when he plainly cleared his position satisfaction, actually proceeded to examine the subject, he will keep close by on the grounds that we got a major treat for him coming up next. Individuals said that his looks completely made sense of what he was feeling around then this present time. This isn't the primary opportunity. Euphoria has been inconsiderate and pessimistic on the set. There are a few stories of her conduct. These reports about satisfaction, Behar's supposed inconsiderateness, and Dival-like conduct in the background have surfaced lately. Significant. Euphoria briefly assumed the job of mediator for Whoopi Goldberg, who was missing because of sickness during her experience as arbitrator. There were examples where she intruded on her co-has and unexpectedly shut down the show. The ABC show shared an examination photograph on Instagram, highlighting Euphoria Behar vehicle wearing similar suit, with the photos required 20 years. Separated. The principal photograph was caught in 2004, while the subsequent one was from the show's November 10th transmission. Beside the shoes being different, the photographs were strikingly comparative. I feel better. My stomach settle down. The enthusiasm. Look, fans couldn't resist the opportunity to saw that she hasn't matured a day. And surprisingly, her view co-has were dazzled by the way that she still FS into similar suit following 20 years. During the live show, Happiness uncovered that she has an extraordinary wardrobe for planner things. I'm a little grouchier. Claimers pester me more. Bliss. Behar said, I've forever been somewhat testy. It's forever been my character. I accept that cynicism is entertaining. Energy is actually a major buzzkill. Interesting. Euphoria. Bear's co. have imparted a chuckle and communicated consent to her, demonstrating that she was earnest in her remarks about her unique storage room for fashioner things. Well, pundits have seen her way of behaving since ages. One of them composed what flabbergasts me day by day on this show is that Euphoria and Whoopi don't understand the amount of fakers they genuinely are. I'd wagered that they really think they've never been fraudulent even one time, yet that is to show you how far out of profundity they genuinely are. They can't see past their own predisposition. Another composed, "I've never enjoyed the view satisfaction. Is it discourteous that we have sufficient discordiousness on the planet without turning on television and seeing them contending I could do, without any of them shut it down insiders, additionally guaranteed that Happiness Behar showed delike conduct and gave the disdainful attitude to others. This conduct arose close by bits of gossip about her purportedly lashing out at a group part fans, noticed a pessimistic disposition from Bliss during a round of the $100,000 pyramid with visitor Michael Straw and co-have Sarah Haynes. Like a what's his name that does this, it's a craziness lunacy, a WrestleMania. Definitely, that is all there is to it. She regularly made mocking jokes and stood out her tongue during the game. Furthermore, Happiness seemed disappointed when Sarah didn't figure the right responses. The rival group didn't perform well in the game. Either a few fans saw that Radiant gave Alyssa a side eye.